No matter where you find yourself today, this video, if you see it on YouTube, or audio, if you listen to it on the Sight Shift podcast, it's for everybody. And it's the 5 realities of the limbo moments in parenting. You may say, but I'm not a parent. Listen, check out this content because this content is going to help you know what you may not have gotten that you need, or it's going to help you feel some gratitude for what you did get. See, what happens in parenting, in this navigation of a complex relational situation, is we get in all of these limbo moments, these in-between moments. And they're changing and we're changing, or we're getting stuck, and all of what happens. So whether your kids are babies or they're little or adolescent or they've grown, everyone can take something away from what we're going to dive into here. You can even repair some things if they are grown and you want to learn how to connect with them in a fresh way. So here we go. Number one, the aim of parenting is an empowered individual. The aim of parenting is an empowered individual. This is huge. You know, my joy is that I want to enjoy a lifelong adult relationship with my children. That's what I want. That's the strong desire I have. And so because of that, I want to make sure I'm not getting in the ditch of overly coddling them or pressuring them too hard, but living in that sweet space of helping them advance step by step by step by step. Now, it doesn't mean if you are coddled, you can't become, and it doesn't mean if you're not pushed too hard, you can't become, because frankly, both of those can help grow you up in certain ways. But for most of us, we want to experience an environment that is appropriately staged step by step, not staged like put together, but the stages of our growth that we need to go through appropriately through step by step as we become this individual. Now, when you start talking about this idea, it automatically flags for some people a concern, because is it about the individual or is it about the family, the village, the group? Well, this is why politics is always going to go circular around this. It's the yin yang. Healthy groups produce empowered individuals. Empowered individuals build healthy groups. A healthy institution releases empowered individuals. The family as a healthy institution, the idea is to release empowered individuals. And then they go and build healthy groups. That's the cycle of how civilization has operated for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And what we want to learn to do as parents is when we're in that space where we are navigating decisions, we want to begin with the end in mind, that we want to enjoy a lifelong adult relationship with them. So how do we do that now in this moment? Now, we could get really practical. That's not the point of today's video or audio, but some of these other steps are going to take it a little further. But listen, people that don't become their own person, they tend to fall into being victims, and they just let other people tell them who to be, or they fall into a place, and this is for a few of them, where they become tyrants. And so the victims are wanting others to validate them. Well, so does the tyrant. We all have our insecurities, which takes us to this second reality of parenting. Children aren't a blank slate to be written on, but a painting to be studied. The problem when you approach them like a blank slate, then you're imagining falsely that you know best. And what happens when you do that is you start trying to mold them in your image rather than helping them become an empowered individual. We know this in our company Sight Shift. We work with leaders all over the world. Everyone has a different movie playing in their head. They've been through different experiences. Those experiences have turned on and off switches in them that shape the narrative of their mind. We know this because we actually test for it. We assess it. At the subconscious and unconscious level, you're orienting from a narrative about who you are. Everyone is doing that. And we all have something that we're orienting from, plus the experiences. It makes us us. And if I try to impose my will on my child and tell them, well, this is who you're going to become, I'm failing to take into account there's something in them that there's a different movie playing in their head. There's a different value system. There's different desires. We can have similar shared high-level values, but at the street level where they're living out who they are, the goal is not to try to mold them in our image. The goal is to release them. And how we're going to release them, they are a painting to be studied. What happens when a lot of parents are in a limbo moment with their child, and it could be small, like they're not doing what I say, and it's that age 2, and it's not that they're terrible at age 2, they're starting to actually know they have a brain separate from mom. when it's these little moments, they're not doing what we say, to these big moments, and we feel like at early adulthood they've made some kind of big decision that's just awful. Well, what we do is we swoop in with an increase of intensity because they are breaking the mold. Well, that's the point. Rather than swooping in with an increase of intensity, we want to come in with an increase of clarity, studying them, knowing them. Now, for those of you that have no idea who I am, my name is Chris McAllister. I lead this organization that I was telling you about earlier, and I've also lived it out at our home. So 3 daughters, currently 15, 17, and 18, and over and over and over, I've seen what I'm laying out for you in these 5 realities to be true. It's been a blast. I'm enjoying the phase that we're at. It doesn't mean there aren't challenges. It doesn't mean there aren't, limbo moments where we're in between what is and what could be. The point of parenting is you're going to have tons of those. For a while, you get in a groove, and then your kids change, and you've got to change your approach. And after a while longer, they change again, and you've got to change your approach. And the same is true for you. If you're upgrading and growing as a human, you're changing. Or maybe they're in a place of high change and very dynamic, but you've gotten kind of curmudgeon-y and static and stuck. Either way, we want to turn the irritation into a fascination and start to study them. And parents, the reason they don't do this more, the reason they don't take this approach more often, and the reason they don't seek a deeper understanding in these limbo moments is because parents have their own insecurities. Well, that takes us to the third reality. Children need a non-anxious presence as they test the edges of who they are becoming. See, what happens as a child is testing the edges. They're trying to figure out who they are and what it means to step away and then to come back to what's safe. And if they're stepping away, and they're stepping away out of anger as they launch out because what was supposed to be a shelter from the storm was the source of the storm, when home is traumatizing, then this is going to be even more complicated for them as they grow and learn. But if you can, as a parent, become a secure, non-anxious presence, not that you do it perfectly, but that you're not wrapping up who you are in their responses, in their choices, in their behaviors, then you can not get caught on that codependent treadmill where you're getting angry at them and they are, I'll put this in air quotes, pushing your buttons. Like I read one author said in the book Scream Free Parenting, if they're pushing your buttons, stop handing them the remote. We codependently build this enmeshment with our children, and because we do that, we can't be the secure, non-anxious presence. And while children are going to continually, as they age, so kids and adolescents and young adults, they're going to test these new ways of being, we want to be attuned to the fact that their identity has a dynamism to it as they are developing and growing. And in fact, we want to be inspired by it, because if you're watching this and you're feeling like your child is changing a lot, maybe it's an inspiration for the dynamism you can experience. Have you made it where you want to with your dreams and desires? You say, well, it's too late. Well, it's not too late. If you didn't get it done in your 30s, do it in your 40s. If you didn't get it done in your 40s, do it in your 50s. And it's not like it's all the pressure and shame's on you. It takes time to architect a vision and a dream and go after it. I'm just saying, let them inspire you as they are changing and growing. Fourth reality. Your child is a human first and your child second. Your child is a human first and your child second. I mean, this applies to so many relationships. If you're having trouble with someone right now, see them as a human first before seeing them as your dad or as the team leader or as whatever. The most dramatic shift that can happen in your parenting is when you begin to see your child as the unique human they are before seeing them just in the role of being your child. In fact, the way that I walk through this in the work that we do with SightShift, if this helps you, think about it in terms of 3 domains, if you will. There's who you are, there's the relationship, there's the roles you fulfill, what you do, and then the relationships you fulfill. So there's who you are, there's what you do, your missions, and then there's your communities, the relationships you fulfill. So think about this. Your child has an identity, and then they are, in the role of your child, a part of your family. Think about you as a parent. You have an essence, a sense of an evolving self. There's who you are, an identity, and then you fulfill the role of parent in the family. If all you know of yourself is as a parent, Well, then when they don't behave like you want, or when they age and they leave and you've built your world around them, then you lose your identity. This happens all the time. This is why these limbo moments are so powerful. They can change us, and parenting just gives you lots and lots of limbo moments. A child learning to be secure in their identity, over time, they fulfill the roles in a healthy way, and it will teach them how to attract and build healthy relationships or community. That's the paradigm. Number 5, I know I've spoken with some clarity and some passion and some certainty, but we all make mistakes. And this is the 5th thing here. 5th, no one has parenting all figured out. It's experimental. I mean, it's experimental. You don't know till it's done. And the lie that we can believe is that we've got it all figured out, or the pressure or the shame. None of this is about any of that. You really don't know what you've done until you start to see them become independent, to have their own opinions, to stand up to people, to think for themselves, to deal with pressure, to go through setbacks. How are they responding to those? So don't mistake the certainty of the aim of parenting, to enjoy a lifelong adult relationship with your children, for the certainty of how to parent. We're living in a world where change is happening more than ever. It's going to take different tactics and strategies like crazy, but these principles that I've walked through in these 5 realities are still true. They can bring you comfort. They can help you. Take them and type them up, take a screenshot of them, hang them up in your closet. Do something to keep these 5 realities in front of you. So when you're in the in-between moments, the limbo moments of parenting, whether it's a small little daily moment and the reality of who you want them to be or the choices you want them to make are frustrating you and harmful to the connection of your relationship, or it's the big stuff that's really got you stressed out about their lives, go back to these 5 over and over and over again. Now, for those that received this content as a part of an email from me, they got something special that we told them about, and I can tell you about it, but I can't, through the delivery system, we're not doing the same offer. But we actually have a course where I coach you how to coach your children without them even knowing it. It's designed with 9 lessons and exercises, guiding you step by step to help you understand exactly how to live out these 5, how to know your child with precision and accuracy, and how to cooperate with what is the process of becoming in their life, and how to come beside it and assist it and enjoy that lifelong adult relationship. So if you're interested in the course, send us an email. Let's say connect@sightshift.com. Just put parenting in it, and we can see what we've got. We do groups a few times a year, and if we have any group coaching options available for that. Children are hurting. They're more lonely than ever. We know that. That's been verified through research. Here we are now, even in this mid or post-pandemic situation, and you as a parent, to listen to this content and digest it, I'm just applauding that. It matters more than ever. Being thoughtful as a parent on how to help your children become. I'm celebrating you and celebrating that you're here. Keep learning, keep growing. Peace.